All right, what's going on with TSLA this year so far? So let's have a look. On Friday, January 19, Tesla basically closed flat, while indices, everything else closed pretty nicely. And if you take a look at let's just take a look at 1 day performance of the S&P 500 today. You can see, I mean, tech, communication services, financials, even cyclicals did, some of the cyclicals did well, but just by looking at Tesla, as many people argue that it's a tech, well, it's acting perfectly as a cyclical company, as a cyclical stock. So what about technicals? So if you take a look at the daily chart, ever since, this year so far, it is the worst performing NASDAQ stock, NASDAQ 100 stock, and at the bottom of as well, worst performing S&P 500 stock as well. If you take a look at the bottom, worst performing stocks at the bottom, you can see Tesla's top 5. So worst, of course, Enphase Energy. We know why. If rates for yields for treasuries, for bonds stay high, the rate sensitive stocks will be down there for sure, such as like Newmont, Boeing. We know, some incident, that's why it's down there. It was positive, but you know the drill. If we take a look at the NASDAQ, you can see Tesla and Walgreens are the worst two stocks so far this year, while two best are Nvidia and Palo Alto. So this year, basically, chip makers are leading the market higher. So what to watch from here? So on a daily chart, if we take a look at the Tesla longer trend right here that I was watching, you can see every time I hit this, and this trend is back to 2021, 2022, and it hasn't gotten above this level. It did try 2022 somewhere here in July, and then came down, tested once, twice, and it did try it at the end of the year again, but it couldn't stay above it, and ever since it has been selling off. And Tesla reports earnings next week, 24th of January, after market close. So what I'm watching from here, so if we take a look at this chart, we're in 2023, you can see like two major supports, right? It did start the year somewhere at 101, 102, and it was the one of the top two best performing stocks in 2023. So that's normal that a lot of people are taking profit because they didn't want to pay taxes at the end of the year, so they just decided to take profits in the beginning of the year. If that's the case, we might see, if their earnings are going to come out better, we might see Tesla join the party. But they have been cutting basically their prices for the cars that are selling. Less and less cars are being sold, in my opinion, and they have a lot of more inventory built up. And if earnings does not surprise, if earnings does not take Tesla back to above its moving averages, at least so far, if we take a look at the moving averages, you can see 200-day is at 230, 50-day is at 237. If we don't get back above these levels, downtrend will continue, in my opinion, and the support levels from there I'll be watching is 195, 180, and all the way to 158, 155. So these are the support levels I'm watching to the downside. So to the upside, I'm not going to bet on earnings. Implied volatility is pretty high. Going into next week, you can see Tesla is implying plus or minus $15 move up or down. So if you think that it's going to go up from here, well, $15 move from here, it would take it right below its 200-day moving average, and it would hit the resistance right there. But in order for you to make money when you are betting as a trader, as an options trader, it has to move more more than what is implying. And you can see that 200-day moving average 231, 232, it has been acting as a support throughout November, and this is a pretty big resistance from here now. So these are the levels for TSLA I'm watching. Let's see what happens next week after earnings, but I'm watching the stock basically to continue to sell off if they do not surprise on earnings. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.